My grandmother's house always gave me the creeps. It was an old Victorian home, filled with antique furniture and long, shadowy hallways. But the most unsettling thing was the mirror in the guest room where I often stayed. It was a tall, ornate thing, with a frame that seemed to twist and turn in unnatural ways. My grandmother always said it was a family heirloom, but she never liked to talk about its history. One stormy night, I was lying in bed, watching the lightning flash outside. The room was illuminated in brief, stark bursts, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Each time the lightning struck, the mirror seemed to flicker with a life of its own. I tried to ignore it, telling myself it was just the storm playing tricks on my eyes. But as the night wore on, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. I sat up in bed, my eyes drawn to the mirror. In the dim light, I could see my reflection, but there was something wrong. My reflection wasn't mimicking my movements. It was subtle at first, but unmistakable. Frozen with fear, I watched as my reflection began to smile, a slow, sinister curl of the lips that I was definitely not making. Then, it lifted its hand and started to beckon me closer. I was horrified, yet I found myself compelled to get out of bed. As I approached the mirror, the air grew colder, and the figure in the mirror became more distinct. It was me, but not me. Its eyes were dark voids, its skin pale and distorted. It continued to beckon me, its movements jerky and unnatural. As I got closer, I could see other figures moving in the background of the reflection, shadowy forms twisting and writhing in the darkness. I was inches from the mirror when a bolt of lightning illuminated the room. For a split second, I saw the true horror in the mirror, bade a glimpse of a twisted, otherworldly realm, filled with tormented souls. The shadowy figures were clearer now, their faces contorted in eternal agony. In a moment of panic, I threw a nearby lamp at the mirror. It shattered, sending shards of glass flying across the room. The room plunged into darkness as the storm knocked out the power. I stumbled back to bed, my heart pounding in my chest. The next morning, the storm had passed, and the mirror lay in pieces on the floor. But as I looked at the shattered glass, I noticed something even more terrifying. The reflections in the pieces. They were still moving, still watching me with their dark, void-like eyes. I left my grandmother's house that day and never returned. But sometimes, late at night, I catch a glimpse of something in the corners of mirrors, a shadow that moves when it shouldn't. I avoid mirrors now, but I can always feel them, the eyes from the other side, watching and waiting.